Wow, what a turnout. This is so impressive, and so many folks representing partners, businesses in the town, of course, residents. We have utilities here. We have a room full of real dignitaries today. See CAC's walking in right now. The doctor, hello. Sorry to embarrass you, but it's kind of what you get when you come in late. Welcome to the first ever and hopefully annual Mayor's State of the Town Address. You may wonder why the State of the Town Address is being held in the late summer or the fall when most other communities in Pinal County hold them in the spring. Well, we wanted to be different. We wanted to hold it at a time where we're not competing with everyone else, and as well as the time of the different elected officials that go from town to town. And we thought that fall would be a great time following the approval of the budget, following completion of a lot of neat projects over the past year for the staff, unfortunately, during the audit process, as I look back at our finance director, Ray, in the back. But what a great time. I got asked to come up here and do the housekeeping items. So here I am, housekeeping. And you have to feel sorry for me because I can't see with my glasses on and I can't see with my glasses off, but I'm going to do my best. First off, the restrooms out the hall in the lobby to the left. We are filming this broadcast. Notice the cameras, the big screens. So if you get in front of those, your picture is going to be broadcast on TV. So that's just a warning. But it also is. It probably wouldn't be good if you heckled or threw fruit, those kind of things. So please refrain. Actually, the reason that we're filming this is we're going to broadcast it on Channel 11, and we'll broadcast it on the town's YouTube channel. So for all of you that have Channel 11, it'll be for your viewing pleasure in posterity. Census 2020 is going to be out in the lobby. They're trying to recruit people to work for the census. So anybody that's looking for a part-time job for the next few months, $16 an hour, pretty good deal. The town is going to hold an open house on October 17th from 4:30 to 6:30 p.m. here in this building at the community center to get input on our redevelopment plan. And a lot of the folks that are in this room today, we would like to have their input on the town's redevelopment plan update. So if you would come. Distinguished guests in the audience, as I said before, there are many, and I have tried to do the best that I can to document all of the distinguished guests that have come in the door today. But I'd like to start off with the most important distinguished guests, and that's the council members of the town of Florence. So if they would stand, and we'll give them a round of applause. We're missing a couple today, but we have John Anderson, Bill Hawkins, Karen Wall, I believe, had to stay home today. Kristen Larson is at work, and we have Judy Hughes and, of course, Mayor Walter. So thank you very much for all that you do. Oh, I'm sorry, Michelle Cortez. Forgot Michelle. All right, Michelle Cortez. Everyone, let's give her a single round of applause. I told you I couldn't see. Senator Frank Pratt RSVP'd today, but I didn't see Frank walk in. I did, however, see House Speaker Pro Tem Shope. Where are you, TJ? TJ back in the back. We have Mayor Gail Barney and Councilmember Jeff Brown from Queen Creek, of course, accompanied by John Cross, who is their town manager. We've got Mayor Ed Honey, if Mayor Ed's here, there he is, as well as Yamshid Mita, their town manager. We've got Andrew Fry from Congressman Gosar's office. Mayor Jeff Surdy from AJ. There he is. Sheriff Mark Lamb, right up front with the big cowboy hat. Supervisor Miller, I think I saw Supervisor Miller slip in. There he is. And last but not least on my list is my high school buddy, Micah Powell from Eloy. They let him out of Eloy today. Very good, very good. He's going to get me for that. With that, the mayor has been practicing intently, and she's ready to ride on her state of the town. So without further ado, I will step away and turn it over to Mayor Walter if you give her a hand.
All right, first and foremost, I want to say thank you to everybody for attending our State of the Town. We have a lot that we are looking forward to celebrate, and we have a lot to look forward to in what we plan on accomplishing in the town of Florence. This would not be possible if it were not for council's support and all of us working together. So I do want to take a little bit just to introduce our council members. Vice Mayor John Anderson, who's right over here, and I know he's already been introduced. He serves on our Industrial Development Authority and Pinal County Water Augment Authority Board. He's very passionate about that. We also have Council Member Bill Hawkins. Bill Hawkins is passionate about our Arts and Culture Commission. He also serves on our 5 Parks Board, as well as the Planning and Zoning Commission. Councilmember Karen Wall was ill today, but she does want to be with us in spirit. She serves as a liaison to our Greater Florence Chamber of Commerce, our Library Advisory Board, the Tohono O'odham, as well as the Gila Indian River communities. Boop. Next, we have Councilmember Kristen Larson. She is working today, and she is with our Fire Public Safety, as well as our Florence Teen Council and our Public Safety Personnel Retirement Board. We have Michelle Cortez. Michelle Cortez is our liaison for our Historic District Advisory Commission, as well as our Florence Unified District Committee. We also have Councilmember Judy Hughes, who is on our Board of Appeals, our Parks and Recreation Advisory Board, who plans all of the fun events, and our Pinal Partnership that meets every month on a Friday. Ladies and gentlemen, that is our council. Now, I want to formally welcome you to the first annual State of the Town. So 2 years ago, we started implementing these forums, beginning with the Economic Development Symposium, and most recently, this past June, we held the Internet of Things Cybersecurity Symposium. Now, in Florence, this is a time for celebration, and we have accomplished so much over the past year. But this speech cannot be simply a look into the past. We also have to consider the larger picture, the more important view of what we have lying ahead. We must build our future by preparing for what's next. And so today, as I mentioned, we're going to take time to celebrate, to reflect, and to dream. We will not dream in the sense of the pie in the sky, expectations that are rarely met or partially achieved. We're going to envision together a Florence that is better because of our collective work to improve our community. And the work of continuous improvement has been occurring since our founding in 1866. As one of Arizona's oldest towns, our history runs deep through our veins. We are doing much to preserve history, protect it from fading, and to further promote its importance. This year, we lost a historic structure on Main Street, the Cocapelli Moon Saloon, to a fire. Instead of sitting by with a major eyesore and a danger to the health and wellness of our downtown, we allocated funding to demolish the building, clean up the site, and prepare it for future reinvestment. We have also worked with amazing community leaders, the Smith family, to form a partnership to restore the historic Quinn Building to new glory while retaining its place within the historic town of Florence. Additionally, each year we partner with our beautiful Pinal County Historical Museum to host the Florence Home Tour, which brings hundreds of people from near and far to tour these beautiful buildings, and which has been a blessing. It has recognized us this year with the Outstanding Cultural Awareness Program by the Arizona Parks and Recreation Association this past August. We look forward to the 35th annual home tour this year, which will occur on Saturday, February 8th, 2020. The museum has also led efforts to restore the town's 1953, you'll see it, it's pictured right up in the very top, Ford fire engine, along with the Arizona Correctional Industries and CAC. We're looking forward to the upcoming restoration of yet another fire vehicle and bringing it back to its glory. Additionally, see, I gave him a clicker. Boop. Okay, so my clicker didn't click when you were supposed to. That's okay. This is the award that was provided at the Arizona Parks for our Cultural Awareness Award. This is our Parks and Rec staff. They do an amazing job every year. They plan this event. They work collaboratively with our citizens, with our businesses, with our chamber, and they do a fabulous job of being able to allow people to explore the rich history that Florence has to offer. So I do want to give them a special shout out. Now, in regards to our redevelopment plan update, our town staff, they've also been working really hard to update and modernize our outdated historic redevelopment plan. This plan provides a baseline to protect history while enticing more business, residential activity within this redevelopment area. In addition to this, our staff is also working on a program to entice our historic property owners to maintain their buildings and properties. We are really looking forward to seeing this come to fruition in this coming year. Our history is unique, and if we don't take the time to use it properly and to make sure that it's preserved, protected, planned for the future, it won't do us any justice. We need to work together so we can help beautify and draw visitors into our amazing community. Every year, our residents and business owners, they pitch in to make Florence a fantastic place to call home. Over the year, Florence has received numerous recognitions. I'm sure you've seen our Facebook posts, in the newspaper. It's been highlighted. We've received so many awards. Are you ready for this? Bam. We received the first safest city in Arizona by Security Baron, the first safest city in Arizona by the National Council for Home Safety and Security by Alarms.org, the #1 safest city in Arizona by Home Snacks, #3 safest city in Arizona by Safewise, the #1 best suburb to buy a house in Phoenix area by Niche, and we have some of our builders in the audience today if you'd like to take some time to speak with them. #1 best places for young professionals in Pinal County by Niche, the #3 safest city to live in by backgroundchecks.org, the #1 best places to retire in Arizona by Home Snacks, the #3 best place to retire by Arizona Big Media, and the #1 best place retirement community, Golf Life at 55. Let's give ourselves a round of applause for all of those accolades. And then this is just some snippets in regards to our statistics and some of the posts that you've seen. Now I want to break some of these down because these do not just happen. These are very planned and very strategic. I want to discuss how they happened and why they're so important to the future of our community. As Arizona's safest community, Florence is proud to offer a secure environment for our residents. Our outstanding public safety employees and our partnerships is what makes this a possibility. This past year, a highly successful community emergency response, also known as the CERT team, was implemented. The CERT team accompanies our emergency response professionals to calls and trainings. They bring their resources, their skills, and their training, and this offers a safer environment for all. Another positive program that is geared towards our fire safety is the wireless fire alarm system in the downtown area. This has expanded exponentially, and it is now a full network with 10 users, and many more are planned. This system allows for fire alarm retrofit of old and historic buildings, which does not require the buildings to be torn apart in order to be wired for traditional fire alarms. The results, well, it speaks in volume because there are lower costs associated with the property for the property owner, while providing the same level of safety as traditional fire alarms. It also allows our emergency responders to arrive at the scene of fire quicker, which also enhances the likelihood of saving the building and thus saving our historic downtown. Now, not to be overlooked by our police department, they also continue to serve our community exceptionally well. Some of their successes this past year have been working with our partners at Pinal County, especially with the graffiti abatement program, and our goal in this program is to help clean up the town. The police department, they've also enhanced its community policing efforts by implementing a Facebook account in an effort to better communicate with our citizens and community. Now, I can tell you firsthand an experience where this Facebook account was very beneficial. We had a gas leak that was downtown. And the communication that went through, it was actually at our high school to be very specific. And the communication that they put out, the updates that they put out, our citizens very much appreciated it. It was very timely. It was very comforting to know what was going on. Where were, the children in our community going? How is it being addressed? So just another benefit of what's happening in our community and how they're using these tools. Now, in the coming year, they're working towards implementing electronic citations. They also hope to kick off a text to 911 program. Now, what the text to 911 program does is this allows the community to report any issues via text messages. So this is an initiative that Maricopa County is actually giving credit for starting. And they've proven especially well in regards to people who may not be in a position to make that 911 call at that time. They might be a witness, they may be unable to talk, and just by being able to text in what is happening could potentially save their lives or somebody else's. So, a benefit. Now, this coming December, our beloved police chief did put in, and he is retiring. We are currently in the process of seeking applicants and going through the process of hiring a new police chief. But I wanted to say thank you and give a shout out. Now, I love where we live. We live in such an area where we can explore the outdoors so easily. And did you know that Florence ranks high on many quality of life scales because of the excellent amenities that we enjoy in our area? Recreational opportunities are readily available. We have Box Canyon, we have the Coke ovens. That's a picture of the Gila River with water in it. And Post and Butte. I know it doesn't always have water in it, but boy, is it beautiful when it does. This year, we expanded our commitment to these valuable resources by obtaining a lease with the Bureau of Land Management for 200 plus acres to expand what we're calling the Post and Butte Preserve. And this is going to bring new trails and recreational facilities to the northern part of our town. This is going to expand access for our residents and visitors to have to explore the natural beauty of our community. How many of you recognize that scene right there? If you haven't or you're new to the community, this is our Road to Country Thunder event. Now, this is just one of our signature town events, and this adds to the excitement in the town of Florence. So Country Thunder does bring tens of thousands of guests from all around the world every April, and it gives us an opportunity as country music fans to see up-and-coming artists in a family-friendly environment. In a few weeks, our downtown businesses will be lit up orange and black with skeletons and tombstones and spider webs as we collaborate for the Halloween Fright Fest. Then we move into the Junior Parada, which is the United States' longest running junior rodeo, and its accompanying parade, which continues to succeed at the end of November. Christmas on Main Street gives another opportunity for a parade and a welcome kickoff into the holiday season. This year, for the first time, Florence will also be hosting a drive-in movie. How many of you have been to a drive-in movie before? Okay, I really hope that y'all come out to our first drive-in movie. Our Parks and Rec, they have worked so hard on this and bringing new programs into town. These Hallmark events, they bring our community together and they help us show everybody why Florence is a great place to live. Now, I would be remiss if I did not mention the many businesses in town that really give way to our measure in regards to the quality of life. This past year, we've seen new stores and businesses emerge in our downtown area, such as Blue Sky Boutique, Rail 3, and Heart J Ranch. The Main Street Vault, which is under new management, and a new Circle K gas station and convenient mart. And we also have a newly renovated Mount Athos and Lydia's Cocina at the Old Pueblo restaurant, who catered this delightful breakfast this morning. These complement the many wonderful eateries, banks, government offices, markets, and stores that everyone should visit as soon as we are done here this morning. In sum, this number is going to absolutely astound you. This past year, we have issued 996 building licenses this past year. There are lots of people doing business in the town of Florence. And I know, I see some people going, wow, so even though we may not see a traditional brick and mortar store, we still have businesses licenses that are being issued. We have people doing business in our community. So one of the most notable of these was recently celebrated this past week as we held the ribbon cutting for the new and improved Florence Hospital. And this is a campus of Mountain Vista Medical Center. This is a state-of-the-art facility which includes an operating room suite, a 22-bed emergency room, an inpatient care center, and a new laboratory that will be able to process labs quicker and without having to outsource this work to other facilities. Now, we're so blessed to have Steward Health as a partner in our community, and we look forward to many years as partnering for its success. Our high quality of life is also supplemented by our wonderful schools. Our community has invested heavily in our school district. Our kids are receiving a great education. The district is integrating technology into the classroom continuously to build the leaders of tomorrow. Speaking of building, growth has become a cornerstone of Florence. The school district recently completed an expansion of the K-8 gymnasium, which allows for increased capacity and additional room for growth in regards to junior high sports programming. Also, we had did you like that? We had the most recent Robles first main event boxing tournament there. So not only is the venue available for use by the school, it's also for use within our community. Now, Pinal County recently announced their plans to also expand facilities within Florence. We have already worked with the county to begin reviewing these plans, and we will see soon a new Class A office space that they will be bringing to town. Perhaps the biggest growth that has occurred is our new homes. In the Phoenix region and in Pinal County, Florence has seen the third largest percent growth of any community in single-family home permits over the last year. Just last month in September, the town has issued over 50 single-family home building permits. Now, this includes some infill development in our downtown. It is mainly concentrated in the Anthem area with our D.R. Horton and Pulte homes, who are continuing to invest in our community. We are on pace to issue more new single-family home permits this year than in any year since 2008. These new rooftops could open greater possibilities for retail development, and we will continue to pursue these opportunities to further broaden Florence's tax base. Now, to appropriately build for our future, growth in homes and businesses and events that draw people to our town, we have to pair these events with infrastructure. Now, I do want to give a shout out to our town manager as well as the department that he helps here, because infrastructure, ladies and gentlemen, this is his jam. He is infrastructure known all across the state, and he does a fabulous job with that. Now, putting in new sewer pipes in the ground, it might not be something that's talked about on a regular basis, but it is vital to prepare for what is coming by getting that type of infrastructure into the ground. Florence is replacing and expanding infrastructure across town with new fiber installation for faster and redundant data communication. New work at the sewer treatment plants is modernizing this facility, and a water recharge facility will come on board soon, which will prove that Florence is investing in the future of water in the region. New water lines are being installed throughout the downtown area to provide redundancy and reduce downtimes when our water lines crumble. Ladies and gentlemen, we are trying to fix those issues. Drainage has been improved in Florence Gardens, and downtown has stormwater project schedules. All of these projects will minimize the impacts that the large storms currently have on our residents. Not to be overlooked is Florence's massive investment in transportation infrastructure. As a percentage, the population of Florence grows by nearly 30% during the day, with people traveling in and out to work, either at one of our gated communities, at any of our schools within Florence Unified School District, any of our county complexes. These are our main jobs within our town of Florence. It's important to get these people to their destinations as easily as possible. As such, Hunt Highway has been improved over the past few years. We've seen new traffic signals, enhanced surface treatments, and increased capacity. Engineering is underway to make the intersection of Hunt Highway and Attaway Road operate more efficiently. Additional surface treatments are planned to continue to ensure this vital route is in good shape for those that travel to our roads to get to work, play, and food destinations in Florence. First Street was completely repaved, also with drainage improvements that will help this area of downtown. In the coming year, we will begin to see more work on the Gila River Bridge, and roundabouts are planned for the southern part of the town at the convergence of State Route 79 and 278. In a very real sense, we are literally building our future of Florence through these strategic investments in infrastructure. I love grants. I really do. It's free money, right? Mark, you appreciate grants. So our town has received community development block grant funding that totaled $608,000 for 2 waterline projects in the town core. The project entailed replacing more than 4,000 linear feet of 6-inch waterline and 12-inch waterline. We also have the police department, who has received over $140,000 in grant funding through the Arizona Department of Homeland Security. Now, this was to purchase 8 portable radios and a vehicle. The department was recently awarded $51,000 from the Gila River Indian community to purchase additional radios. And these grants have provided more than 50% of the funding needed to replace the department's current outdated radios. Our senior center received grant funding through ADOT. This grant funding purchased a cutaway van with a chairlift last year, and they also received another grant for another new van for the senior center in this year. In addition, the senior center was awarded funding to start operating a new Dial a Ride program. Now, this program is very beneficial to our citizens, any of our seniors, any of our population that needs assistance in regards to a ride to the doctor's appointment, a ride to groceries, pharmacy. They can utilize this program. The funding amount was a total of $123,000. Now, the town has also applied for funding through MAG to install a dynamic feedback and signs in the Anthem K-8 and Florence K-8 school zones. The project will include the installation of bike lanes next to Florence K-8 as well. The town of Florence is always seeking different types of funding to help supplement the programs that we want to bring forward that will benefit our community and our citizens. So with that, I want to say kudos to all of our department heads that are actively seeking grants, applying for grants, and being awarded grants. Perhaps more than any time in the history of Florence, we are being strategic and we are planning for the future success. The town council is working on updating its strategic plan to ensure that the community's vision for the future is reflected in how the town operates. The general plan, which sets the guidelines for all development within the greater Florence area, is also starting this coming year. The Safe Routes to School Plan, Active Transportation Plan, the Regional Transportation Plan were also recently approved. And the Parks and Recreation Master Plan is set for approval at an upcoming town council meeting. As mentioned earlier, the Downtown Redevelopment Plan is also a major undertaking that will prepare our downtown for preservation and revitalization. Despite all of this work on plans, infrastructure, and revitalization, the town's financial position is as strong as it has ever been. At the close of last fiscal year, the town's governmental funds reported combined for fund balances of $42.3 million, which was an increase of $4.3 million over the previous year. Our unassigned fund balance, which is available for spending at town's discretion, was $10.2 million. This represents nearly 75% of our general fund budget and is a tremendous asset for the town moving forward. Being fiscally strong makes the town capable of meeting its obligations, both financially and socially. Another way that we have invested in our community is by investing in our future leaders. Our employees are phenomenal, and they deserve to be rewarded and recognized for their outstanding achievements, recognitions, and appointments. The town council has made employee compensation a key focus, providing merit increases of up to 5% each of the past 2 fiscal years. And I also would like to, at this time, share with you a list of other achievements. Now, this is a non-comprehensive list. I tried to go through and I wanted to make sure that I included everybody. So if I did not and I missed somebody, please let me know. Are you ready? First, we have Mr. Brent Billingsley. He serves on the ASFPM Arid Regions Committee as a member. He also serves on the Horizon Health and Wellness Board as a board member. Ms. Lisa Garcia serves on the International Institute of Municipal Clerks. She is a board member. We have Benjamin Bitter. He is our International City/County Manager on the Management Association. Digital Strategies Advisory Board Chair. And in addition, ladies and gentlemen, he was published in an article this past year in the ELGL, which is Engaging Local Government Leaders. So he's really putting Florence out there and sharing what we're doing. In special recognition, we have Mr. James Allen, who is our building official. He earned his title as a certified building official and certified building code specialist. The fire department has had a few special accomplishments and recognitions this past year. Engineer Mike Sherm was nominated for the Arizona State Firefighter of the Year. Battalion Chief Jim Walter and Captain Bill Bruin completed the Managing Officer program through the National Fire Academy in Emmitsburg, Maryland. And firefighter Stephen Johnson has been appointed the training chairperson for the Arizona chapter of the International Association of Arson Investigators. The Florence Police Department has had a few special accomplishments and recognitions this past year as well. Sergeant Renee Clicks has graduated from the FBI NAA Academy, and Sergeant Riccomini has graduated from the Northwestern School of Staff and Command. The Florence Citizen Survey was recently completed, and this will be presented to the Town Council at the end of the month. The town is working closely, as our town manager had mentioned earlier, with the United States Census Bureau to ensure all residents are counted during this 2020 census. This is a major undertaking, and this is going to help ensure that the town gets adequate amount of resources from the state and federal government. Each person brings approximately $3,000 in federal funding to our community every year. It's crucial that each of us takes the time to fill out the census forms, either online, by phone, or by mail when we receive them in early March of 2020. Finally, Florence has begun building for our future by continuing to modernize outdated practices, policies, codes, and equipment. Just months ago, the town was still operating under the International Building Codes of 2006. After a very lengthy process that ensured all viewpoints were addressed, we have updated to the 2012 codes. Florence has had water red meters for so many years, folks. We've had a dedicated employee. He's walked around to every meter just to paint you a picture. He's lifted the lid. He's written down the water use and reported this to the finance department for building. Seems a little bit redundant, doesn't it? I agree. With his upcoming retirement, the town has contracted with a company to implement a new technology that will have the capability to water each water meter at any given second, transmitting this data to our billing system without the need for lifting a lid or driving around town. This is built on the framework of a new data network that has been secured through a contract with one of the world's leading cybersecurity firms. This work has brought the town acclaim from national, international news coverage on the network, and security has launched onto the town spotlight in regards to our smart city movement. In the next few years, we anticipate the ability to use these new technologies to work better, smarter, and more efficiently for our taxpayers. We no longer live in the 20th century, and we are not content to just prepare for today's needs. We need to prepare for the future. And that's what we are trying to do. In sum, it all adds up to being an awesome time to live, work, and play in the town of Florence. Looking on the horizon, we can see a vibrant community that we are all proud to call home. Thank you so much for your help in bringing this community together. Now, at this time, I'm going to invite Mr. Brent Billingsley over. We are going to have a little question and answer session.
Mayor, nice job. Was that fun?
That was amazing.
I didn't get to watch the final slide presentation until just now, and boy, there's lots of cool pictures in there. I'm going to have to get some of those.
Mr. Billingsley.
Yes, ma'am.
So last night we had an exciting opportunity. We had ADOT in town. But I wanted to share for everybody the North-South Corridor evaluation process. This is a process that has started in 2010. Now, a document was provided a few weeks ago for citizens to review, and there was a public comment period. What's the nature of this document that you can share with our audience today, and how might it impact the town of Florence?
Wow, excellent question. North-South Corridor has actually been discussed since 2002. I was part of the original study, which was a joint study between MAG and CAG in 2002, Maricopa Association of Governments, Central Arizona Governments, to look at the future of transportation essentially in Central Pinal County and Santan Valley. And then in EIS is an environmental impact statement. It's part of the National Environmental Policy Act, and it's essentially an environmental analysis to determine a preferred alternative for a major investment in federal funds or a major permitting for a federal project. The idea of the North-South Corridor is to provide a high-speed, low-access transportation corridor through central Pinal County. In this case, that would be from Interstate 10 to the south in the Coolidge-Eloy area, clear to US 60 in the Apache Junction and Queen Creek area. It's been studied for a long time. There have been a multitude of alternatives that have been studied. ADOT has come up with a preferred alternative for what they call their Phase 1 EIS. And it is one of the eastern alignments, and it happens to be the eastern alignment that goes through the center of the town of Florence's city limits. So if you can picture this, it starts in Florence, about 287, near where the waste management dump is, between waste management and the Tohono O'odham community, goes through Dobson Farms, crosses the river in between Florence Copper and the solar farm, goes north through the eastern portion of Anthem, and the Florence portion would end at Arizona Farms Road. They planned 3 different interchanges, 287, Hunt Highway, Arizona Farms Road as part of that. Now, as part of the NEPA process, it's called the draft EIS for a reason. It's for people to comment. It's for governments to comment. It's for folks to come out and discuss the analysis as it exists. So last night was the first public meeting. It was an honor to host it here in Florence. The second meeting, I believe, is in Eloy, and I think the third is in Santan Valley. And that's next week and the following week. The most important thing, if you hope to provide comments, they need to be provided by the 29th of the month, this month. If you're interested and you're a Town of Florence resident, we hope to do a work session with the council before the 29th, so stay tuned. My turn, huh? Madam Mayor, you've spent most of your adult life educating our youth and mentoring the next generation of civic leaders. You recently were offered an opportunity to participate in the Center for the Future of Arizona Beat the Odds Leadership Academy. What can you tell me about the program, and how will that program benefit Florence?
Excellent question. And yes, I'm very passionate about education. Now, the Center for Arizona works together to, I wrote a few little notes here, if you will, because I knew he was going to ask a question like this. So most recently, to back it up a little bit, we attended the Arizona Leagues of Cities and Towns Conference. And at this conference, we attended a session on education. And we were able to make some contacts with an amazing organization called the Arizona Center of Arizona Beat the Odds Academy. Now, in 2017, we adopted the progress meters. And many other municipalities around our area also adopted the same progress meters. This program, what it means, Pinal County is participating with the superintendent's office. We have 6 administrators that are participating throughout Pinal County. We also have local and government leaders that are participating in this. The primary focus of what we are trying to achieve is making sure that we have prepared the future workforce in our region, in our area. We want to make sure that our education is in line in regards to practices and implementation to make sure that we are preparing strategically for our future. Now, I don't want to be remiss without saying, and this is where I am going to share about the job-embedded executive development. What this is this, I already said it. I don't need to re-say it.
I think this would be a good time. It's a break in protocol, but we have all of our major educational institutions from this region here today. So would ASU, U of A, CAC, Florence School District, the Pinal County Schools Office, would you all stand up for a round of applause? Where's Buchanan? There he is. All right, I didn't want to miss Buchanan. Your turn.
All right, Brent. Florence is kicking off the update of its general plan. What makes a general plan? What are we doing to involve the citizens of Florence in this general plan? Why is the general plan important?
General plan is a foundational document for any government entity. We're actually required. Cities, towns, and counties in Arizona are required to have a general plan or a comprehensive plan. Comprehensive plans are for counties. We, as voters in Arizona, approved two different initiatives a few years ago. The first was called Growing Smarter. The second was called Growing Smarter Plus. And they require us to take a look forward, to plan the future of our governmental entities, as well as make sure that we have the resources necessary to support that in a number of different ways. It's one of the foundational documents that every government utilizes to determine its future and its investments. When you think of general plan, people usually think of land use, zoning, and transportation infrastructure, but it's so much more. We have chosen to kind of do a two-phase approach to the general plan in that we've bitten off individual chunks of that plan. The circulation element, which is the regional transportation plan, is almost complete. The parks, trails, and open space study, almost complete. Obviously, safe routes to school, active transportation, they all play into those. However, there are other things that we'll look at. Economic development interests, diversity of housing, redevelopment, and to your slide earlier, also water sustainability and water resources. So they will all make up this very thick, important document. And I think the most important thing to remember when you look at a general plan is we take it to the voters, and it's approved by the voters. It's not the council's plan, it's not the staff's plan, it's the residents' plan.
Excellent response.
Why, thank you. With the reopening of the Florence Anthem Hospital, the presence of Horizon Health and Wellness in town, the Sun Life facility, as well as our first local pharmacy in the downtown, healthcare is playing a prominent role in both the economic and the societal fabric of our community. You've talked with me about the importance of kicking off a health initiative. What would that entail in the town of Florence?
Well, that would entail, first and foremost, we have our strategic plan that's coming up. So we definitely want to make sure that it's something that we can tie into that so it is continuous and it's ongoing. I do know that collectively we've talked about healthy choices within our community, whether that's access to healthy food choices, whether that's access to education in regards to nutrition or treating certain types of illnesses, even preventing certain types of illnesses. The hospital's opening up, our Horizon Health and Wellness, the Anthem Hospital. We've also had Sun Life, and they serve, our needs downtown with providing a pharmacy in this area, so our residents don't have to travel upwards to 15 minutes each way to get access to their medications. They even have a drive-through. When I talked with you about an initiative, a health initiative of what we could do, we shared about a community health needs assessment and what would be needed within the community. Now that also ties back to the Center of Arizona Beat the Odds Academy, because while attending that session, they also disseminated information in regards to healthy communities and what we could do. What I gleaned from that is every population, every community has different types of things available for them, whether it is that education, whether it is that healthcare, whether it is that access to food. They also have unique identifying factors of, is there a high cancer? Is there a high diabetes? Is there, what types of illnesses are prominent in our community? So I feel that if we go out and we have that information, we can make choices that can best serve our community and bring in those resources, bring in those trainings that are necessary. Now, we do have in November, we've worked together on bringing our produce on wheels without waste. So that will bring 60 pounds of produce for $10 to our residents. So that's just one way that we're starting to bring in some healthy options for our community. And I know that our teens have also participated in a healthy cooking class. So it's just about getting the information, bringing it into the community to meet everybody's diverse needs.
I think it's important to point out to everybody that, Mayor, you played a pivotal role in bringing powwow to Florence. And so thank you for the effort that you made to that end. And I think Brian's in the room here somewhere from Parks and Recreation. Brian has worked very hard to make sure that that's a seamless transition. We have folks trained and we're ready to go in November. So thank you, Brian.
All right, I have a question for you about.
Oh boy.
This is a favorite, water sustainability.
Hey, I like that one.
Yes. Water sustainability has been a hot topic in both Arizona and Pinal County for the past year. Now, I know that staff has been doing a lot to address water availability in the future. Can you tell us about some of those efforts?
Absolutely. I was very excited with the slide that you put up there earlier that talked about infrastructure. Most importantly, if you saw a picture on the right-hand side of that slide, that's our new recharge facility in town, which I'll mention as part of my answer. Florence Town Council has really supported us in the idea of water sustainability, and water infrastructure. I need to recognize Councilman John Anderson, who I believe is on the left-hand side of the room here, for his commitment in sharing his personal time to assist me and the staff with this important effort. The first investment when it comes to water and water sustainability is infrastructure. And for anybody who lives in Florence, you've been complaining to me or Chris or somebody about all the streets being torn up for the last 2 years. But hopefully we've kept those interruptions to a minimum because they ultimately help in getting the valves in place, the new lines in place, so that we can isolate parts of the town, or so that we don't have outages for hours on end when our very old infrastructure, some of which was installed as early as 1910, 1930, we can get that out of service, have new infrastructure, and increase fire flows. So that's the first step. The second step has to do with water policy. The Florence Town Council has worked hard with the staff and our advisors on a plan to best use the water that we have now. And we've made some very important successes. Our Tonopah agreement, our agreement with CAGRD, which is the Central Arizona Groundwater Replenishment District, as well as the Greenstone agreement that we signed last year, were very innovative and creative ways to make sure that we're investing in future water. The update to our impact fee study, the update to our water and sewer rate study to allow for future water monies to be collected to invest in our water future, vitally important. As I spoke to before, we'll have a ribbon cutting in the next couple weeks. Hopefully a lot of you will come and join us when we cut the ribbon for our new recharge facility. I believe we are the only city to have a permitted on-site recharge facility in Pinal County. We'll be the first. There's a number of private utilities that have them, but no cities do. So we're very proud of that. Lastly, you need to help me because we're going into a very important period. I know TJ's here in the room somewhere, but there's a lot on water policy that occurred last year in the legislative session and is going to occur this year in terms of the Pinal Active Management Area, Management Plan 4, Management Plan 5, and negotiations that will occur between municipal water users, industrial water users, and agriculture for the future of Pinal County.
Excellent. I think we have time for one more question.
All right, here it is. Here's the softball. Florence has been recognized as the safest city in Arizona by many different organizations for a number of years now. What do you think contributes to this recognition? What is mayor and council's role in assuring that we continue to be one of the safest cities?
This really was a softball. For those of you that know me, I have a heart for public safety. I truly do believe that the reason why we are the #1 safest community is our investment in public safety. First and foremost, our police department is very strategic in regards to their beats and how they organize the structure of their department. Our fire department is the same way. I remember when we moved here in 2006, we only had one fire station. Our ISO rating was off the charts, which negatively impacted our insurance ratings. You would think the higher the number, the better it is. No, folks. The lower the number, the better it is. And since that time, we've drastically reduced the number. Now, we also have strategic relationships. For example, our police department and our fire department both coordinate with the sheriff's department. We had practiced and prepared a live shooter drill over at the courthouse. They practice whether it's over at schools. We always want to be trained and be prepared for whatever emergency will arise in our area. We also have this year brought forward the CERT team. The CERT team is instrumental, and I've seen the positive impact firsthand when our fire department had a 9/11 stair climb. You know, granted, that was not an emergency situation. It could have been, but it wasn't because our first responders are in excellent condition. They went up and down the stairs of the courthouse numerous times. Was it 10 or 11? 12 times. How many flights of stairs are there? There was a lot, 12 times 4. In gear, mind you. So they're training. Our CERT team was there. They were prepared. They had their chairs out with some ice. They had water. They wanted to make sure if anything happened, they would be there. We also have some grants coming forward this year to help us with an additional rehab trailer. Our fire chief is working very diligently with our downtown community to make sure we have our wireless system. So that way, again, we're not hurting the historic buildings. We're also reaching out to seniors in the community to make sure that if there's any dangers in their home, if there's anything they can trip or fall on, if they have any health needs, or if they need us to check or change out the smoke detectors, he's brought that program forward into our community. All of those factors, all of the training, what I mentioned earlier about Sergeant Clicks and Sergeant Rickamini going through the FBI Academy, all of the training with the National Fire Academy that our 2 fire department employees are going through, that knowledge is what is going to enhance, continue to help make us the #1 safest community.
Thank you very much. So would all the town employees stand up that are in the room today? Let's give them a round of applause for their hard work. I get the pleasure of working with these fine individuals every day, and Florence's town employees are absolutely fantastic, dedicated, hardworking, smart individuals, and I can't say enough how much I appreciate them, and I know our council really appreciates them as well. So to close it out, Mayor, the town just did a ribbon cutting for our IoT lab. Yes. And we've been having classes through our Parks and Rec department with respect to that. But there's an upcoming conference that's about to occur that I believe is the 6th annual, and I got to speak, I think, at the 1st annual, Joel, and it was hosted right here in this building when it was brand new. What can you tell us about that partnership with Pinal Partnership, Pinal County ESA, Arizona at Work, and CAC?
So there's a flyer, and on your way out, there's additional flyers. They're also at your table. So they are going to have special presentations. The presentations are going to focus upon jobs, education, young talent, health and well-being, natural resources, infrastructure, civic participation, and connected communities. Again, all of these do tie in and loop back with the Beat the Odds Academy that we will be attending, all of the progress monitors. We will be talking about a data dive. We'll be working hard to make connections. So if you have an interest in any of what I just mentioned, make sure you touch base with Mr. Joel Villegas, raise your hand. Ms. Evelyn Suga, raise your hand. And they will be happy to point you in the right direction. I do hope to see you at that conference. I want to thank everybody for taking time out of your morning to come and attend this program. My middle son said it best. He said, "Mom, this is the first state of the town in the town of Florence. Regardless of how it goes, it will be the best." So again, thank you so much and have a wonderful day.
Thank you very much.